Good day, guys. How are we all doing? Hope we all good. So today I thought let me come do a quick recap, quick top-down analysis on the GER40 trade which we took this morning during London session. So first things first, we're just going to check our daily chart, see where our price is trading in relation to the 13 EMA so that we can get a bias. So looking at yesterday's price action, price was actually pushing back towards the dynamic resistance, which is the 13 EMA. So when we woke up today and came to the charts for London session, price was already trading below the open price. So that sort of gave us a bit of a bearish bias from the daily. Then jumping down to the H1, or rather let's do H4. Okay, H4, what did we have? H4, you notice that we also had price hitting a dynamic resistance at the top here. This was the 200 EMA. So we had a dynamic resistance at the top, nice price action here, and this was today's trade. So the only thing we have from H4 is price reacting off a dynamic resistance, also reacting off this particular order block here to our left. TDI on the 4-hour is also showing that we are bearish just by looking at the majority of the indicator below the 50 static here. So jumping to the H1 now, to confirm a sell bias, price has to be either showing us lower lows, lower highs, or they have to be at least trading below the 13 exponential moving average to show us that we are actually in line with the daily bias. Excuse me. So what we saw at the open is price actually started off by creating this big wick here, which also hit these two dynamic resistance points. So as that candle was forming, I think that's where we actually executed our trade. So the only confirmation we needed on H1 was this reaction below the 13 EMA. So on the H1, you also notice that 200 EMA on H4 is actually the 800 EMA on your H1. So you see this was yesterday's London high, took out liquidity here, took out liquidity here, and we broke that structure there coming into today. So after confirming this wick and this candle forming, we then jumped into M15 to look for any visible pattern. So again, before selling, you want to pinpoint any visible stop hunt or anything to the left-hand side of your entry time. So this is our London open, and anything to our left, that's what we can use. So you'll notice that from this little gap here, we've got an imbalance. That's the first confluence. Second confluence is, excuse me, price actually came back to retest this order block as well. So we've got an order block, we've got an imbalance. Those are two things which we had here. Then what do we have on the TDI? We've got a squeeze. So TDI squeeze, and we broke out to the bottom side just before our London open. So each time you get a squeeze, this again is a bonus point. Each time you get a TDI squeeze, just pay attention to your 13 EMA. So a TDI squeeze, the next thing you need to look for, or look at rather, is the 13 exponential moving average. That's where your next setup is going to form. So we got the drop, found dynamic support, retraced with this wick here, which tapped into the 2 points of interest. So as soon as these confluences line up, the next thing we want is to just mark that wick. So what you can do is, I prefer marking the wick as it forms on the H1. So you would do something like this. Then when you jump to M15, you see where the wick was. So it was lining up with the one on M15 as well. Then after you do this, now you jump onto your entry time frame. So for me, my entry time frame is the 3-minute chart. On the 3-minute chart, I'm simply looking for a confirmation of a stop hunt. Something has to be taken out to the left. So as you can see, the open price opened by taking out these levels like we mentioned on M15. Then after that, we had a break of this order block and an immediate retest right here. Then now we're now looking for the trend on the 3 minutes. So since we're selling, we're looking for lower lows, lower highs. And on the lower high, we are anticipating price to be on or near the 13 EMA. And we're also anticipating to get any nameable candles on any of these points. If you can get any nameable candle, like a pin bar, a doji, a bearish engulfing, or an inside bar, if you get any of these candles, then you can use them for your entry with your stop loss above that entry candle. So if you look at our price, after this drop, price retraced a bit and we had our first doji right here. So you could have used this as an entry. I actually used a break of this order block as my entry, as I wanted some more confirmation, right? So perfect entry, stop loss above the doji. We also got another entry here. So we got a pin bar here. We close here. So you can use the break of the low as your entry with your stop loss above the pin bar as well. And if you notice, price continued to give potential entries. So within that move, we had 1, 2, 3. You can also use this one as well for 4 possible entries. And our target for this particular setup, we were aiming for the ADR low, or you could have aimed for the previous day's low, which should be visible here. I think it was almost near yesterday's open price as well. So this was the target. I'll show you guys when we go to our trading view. So this was the setup. M3, you can see how price expanded. So let me just do this, show you the entries using arrows. So we had an entry there. We had an entry here. So the main aim again is to try and catch this trade when the setup is still starting, when the setup is still fresh. Because if you enter on the 4th signal here, remember your entry trigger here, it could be this bearish engulfing, it could be this pin bar, of which you might need this break as a confirmation. So that means if you enter here, your stop loss is above this bearish engulfing or above this pin bar. In terms of target, now you might only get a 1:1 because of this late entry. But if you enter right here at the top, your reward also becomes a little bit bigger. So just going to trading view now, you see the trade execution and how I was looking at this setup. So what you see on the bottom is the time. So today is Wednesday the 2nd, 9 a.m. This is GMT +2. That's our London Open. So London Open with the stop and like we mentioned, took out this level. That's a liquidity sweep or a stop hunt. Then after that, we got a nameable candle. So first we had a doji, then we had a pin bar. Those are all entry criterias with a 1:3 risk to reward. But again, the target would have been the previous day's low, as you can see. And this black line shows halfway towards the target whereby we can move our stop loss to break even and also scale out. So this was actually a perfect trade for the London session. And let me see if I can quickly show you guys the results. Okay, let's see. Okay, daily results. Whenever you wake up in the All right, there we go. So this was my view. You can see we always try to share the setups with our paid community members. If you are in the paid mentorship or if you got the course, you will have access for about a month to our analysis, signals, setups, trade management, and other notes for mentorship as well. So you can see this is what we shared in the morning. This was the beginning of the setup. And if we play this, okay, you see first attempt to go short on GER40. And after that, this was midway through the trade. Then you can see our notes. Just like I mentioned, if our price hits the halfway mark, let me just see if I can show you. Okay, if we reach your halfway, you already know what to do. That's where you scale out and break even any remaining positions. That's a default rule we have. Then what else do we have here? I was just explaining the whole setup from where it started, explaining what I saw and the targets. Then I think you're going to see the result just now. Okay, that was the running trade. So this was our German 40 setup. I thought let me do a quick recap. You can see this was the trade approaching our target as well. So I thought let me do a quick recap, show you guys a quick top-down analysis on German 40, what we were looking at from the daily all the way until we got to our entry time frame, which is the 3-minute chart. So if you want to join our paid mentorship, I think I'll drop a link in the description. You can just join and you can just choose whether you want to get the 2025 day trading mastery course or you just want the mentorship. Then if you still want to understand these entry candles which we use, I think I'm also going to drop a link with a video which you can watch, which just explains these 4 candlesticks. So if you watched until the end, thank you so much. Please let us know what you traded, if you traded anything at all in the morning, or if you are going to trade New York session, let us know what's on your watch list. I think apart from this, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Today's Wednesday, depending with the time you're watching this, every Wednesday we drop a free live trading session for New York. So if you want to trade with us, just let me know. Get in touch with us via Telegram or WhatsApp. Then you'll be given the Zoom link to join our free live trading session, which happens every Wednesday for New York. So thank you so much for joining and watching until the end. Enjoy the rest of your day trading.